happy to drop out and then drop back in.
Okay. Hey, we're recording, so when you jump back in, come back with like a big entrance.
Okay.
Just waiting for Spencer.
It's Thursday and I'm back. And I'm ready. Are you ready, Daryl, for Sports Talk Thursday?
I said big entrance, man. We need jazz hands.
Yeah, but when I do
I want you to pump in the crowd noise. Like
pump the jam, pump it up. No, we already did our Space Jam stuff.
It was so weird watching NFL and hearing the crowd, and then you see the stands. There's like 4 people there.
Yep. Yeah. Well, it's just I think with was it Cameron Jordan who said what was it like to play without fans? And he's like, well, it's kind of like playing in Tampa Bay. That was a really good one. I enjoyed that part of it.
Stephon Diggs had a good one too. His a little more positive though.
Yeah.
He said he forgot the fans weren't going to be there.
Yeah.
So when they run on the field, and he's like, "Oh."
Yeah. Did you see the Alex Mack run up where he came in going like, "Woo! High five!" Like he was like, "Thank you. I'm glad to be here." But we'll get started. Welcome to Sports Talk Thursday on this September 17th edition. My name is Spencer Emerson. I am the Associate Director of Recreation and Wellness, and with me is...
My name is Josh Allen. And no, wait, that's just the guy that I want to talk about today. My name is Daryl, and I work for Rec and Wellness as the Outdoor Adventure Coordinator, and I am also one of the commentators for Sports Talk Thursday.
Oh my gosh, you are amazing at it.
I have so many hats. I'm going to need to get some hats.
You comment on your commentary so well. I think we're going to have to like get you a 2-sided business card just in case.
Okay.
I think we can do that, but
I'll make up a little Rolodex of business cards.
I like that. Well, we'll get it going. First, we're going to be talking about what's going on in Atlanta sports, like we always do. First thing I wrote was the Falcons are starting like the Falcons, Falcon style, real smooth, keep it going. What have you been seeing? What did you see in that Falcons?
I watched highlights of this game. I didn't watch this game. It was on the same time as my Bills game, so I didn't actually watch this one. But so Falcons dropped their home opener to Seattle, 38-25. A couple of great plays on both sides there. I did like that Matt Ryan to Julio Jones, that 60-yard pass. That was really cool. 60. I'll have to look up exactly how much it was. Matt Ryan had a good day despite dropping it. He had 450 passing yards. He's number 1 in the league. He had two touchdowns and 1 interception. Julio Jones had 157 receiving yards, but he didn't get in the end zone, and that's the problem. You need to get your passing yards mean nothing if you don't get in the end zone. Falcons are also first in the league with total yards at 522. But as Spencer and I were just saying a little bit before we started recording, it's week 1, so we'll see how well that goes. I mean. Week 1 stats don't mean a ton because they're going to change drastically in week 2. You really start to rack up those points, a little later on down the season. So we'll see how that goes for Matt Ryan and his Falcons. Their next game is at Dallas on Sunday at 1 o'clock.
But that's how sports is. Like when it comes to stats, when it comes to any argument, you look at the stats. Like look at how many yards they got. Well, Russell Wilson may have thrown for 118 less yards, but what he did do was throw 4 touchdowns and no interceptions. So on that,
and didn't he pass 4,000 yards or something rushing?
I think so. He was the Seahawks leading rusher, which is not great. So that's something that was a little surprising with this win because even though it was 13 points, the Seahawks had the game pretty much the entire one. I did watch this game a little bit more just because I knew you had the Buffalo side of it. But you know when it comes, you pass to win. you run to keep your win. And it's really interesting to see how little of running they did do.
There are exceptions to that, though.
Oh, there's exceptions.
You got to remember. I grew up in Buffalo in the '90s. We invented the no huddle run.
Yeah.
We're down by 14, 20 points, and we're just gonna run it until you're so tired you can't do anything. Yeah. And then we're gonna win by 14 or 21 points. Like, give me back my Jim Kelly years. I'm gonna pull. That's it. I'm pulling up some highlights while you're talking.
Pull up some Jim Kelly if you want. But what else is going on in Atlanta sports? I wrote a little bit about Atlanta United and what's going on with them. They did have a 1-week break, so this was the first Wednesday in a while that we did not lose. There has been this fan talk. It's a very interesting time in the world of bandwagons. You're either for us or you're against us. Don't critique them because that means you're an enemy. A lot of fan chats between Reddits and Facebook and Instagram because players such as Franco Escobar came out that says, if you're not with us now, you're not with us ever, pretty much is what he said. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's true or that people are bandwagons. With it being such a new team, we're only in season 4. There are college students who have been in college longer than this team's been around, and that's a horrible comparison. I was trying to come up with something, and that's about all I came up with. But they've only been there 4 years.
Put it this way. If you equate it to school years, they're still in pre-K.
Yeah, there we go. They're still in pre-K, and that's where they're at. But it's interesting to see fans talk. It's the same thing with sports. It's any argument. You deny facts that don't support your cause. You compare based on history. You talk about now, but then you ignore what's happened in the past, or you only focus on what happened in the past and you ignore now. You talk about Hall of Fame numbers versus non-Hall of Fame versus good versus bad. And that's why I like sports, because I can start an argument with anyone when it comes to sports, because devil's advocate is my favorite thing in sports. I may 100%.
We're going to talk about Tom Brady in a few minutes.
See, I love Tom Brady, and he's amazing. Don't you dare talk now. But it's the part where Favre came out and said, was given a critique, and Bruce Arians came out and said, "We're fine, don't worry about it." And that's that's interesting. Is when these communications and this confrontation goes. But Atlanta United is starting again. We're believing on a win. We're hoping. I think we'll be able to get an opportunity. It's this Saturday, 7:00. We're going to be playing Miami again. Yes, Miami has a team, and yes, we have played them a lot, but that's because they're within our area, and Fort Lauderdale needs something. So we'll be playing them, and it'll be pretty exciting. But do you have any other news about Atlanta sports, baseball, basketball, anything?
Well, right now the only 2 teams that are playing are United and the Falcons. We don't have with the NBA doing their smaller playoff teams that way, that and they're actually leading up to conference finals. We don't have an NHL team right now because I don't count the Predators. They're probably the closest. I don't know if it's closer to go to Tampa or if it's closer to go to Nashville. But when you pull up Atlanta sports online, it always shows.
But I have Googled that.
So it always shows Nashville.
But we do have to give props to the Hawks, because their 3rd overall pick got selected for first NBA all team this year. Sure, that was Luka Doncic, in which he was traded to Dallas, and we got Trae Young, but they did draft him, so we got way to go, guys. You guys are doing great on that. But I think with the baseball season and all that, we'll be excited to see what comes up next.
So yeah, it'll be fun. Let's see, where are we in the thing here?
Oh, we're at MLB. So
Say, speaking of baseball, you want to talk about the playoff bubble real quick?
yeah, so they just approved the playoff bubble. Um, they're still coming out with full details of what this bubble looks like, but what it's gonna entail is pretty much like your NBA bubble. However, maintain where they're at. The two locations that they're looking to play is Florida and Arizona, is what I believe the states that they came up. Finally, there was a talk of Texas, California, but with the wildfires in California, that just wasn't going to be an option for them. But I believe it is. I believe it is Arizona and Florida. So we'll see what goes, because the MLB was one of those first leagues that was having an issue with COVID, and it was to the point in which the commissioner came out and said, if we don't get this back, we're going to have to cancel the season again. And so then they've been able to fluctuate, and keep their numbers down, but it'll be fun. Baseball is back. The Braves are first in their division. They're up by 3.5 games over Miami, so it'll be good to see. The baseball team doing great. I think what would be the funniest thing in the world is if the Atlanta Braves do win the World Series this year, because it will be in true Atlanta way that everyone's going to say, yeah, they won, but it doesn't count. Like, it was a COVID year. They only played 60 games, and this would be the time that they win. Not to harp on them already, but everyone knows Atlanta sports doing Atlanta sports things. But it'll be good. I'm excited to see what baseball continues to do. It's a weird, quiet year. A lot of what we've been hearing is those LA fires and the air quality, and that they played games in those conditions, and a lot of players were not very happy with it, because it's breathing in smoke and condensed air in which you can't get a full breath, and players are coming out saying, I'm 23 years old and I'm gasping for breath. That shouldn't be what's happening. So we'll see what's going on into this playoffs. Playoffs should be starting fairly soon, within the next couple weeks. So I'll be excited to see what's up. The Tigers aren't the worst, but they still aren't doing great. So we'll take one day at a time. But go Braves, keep them going, and we'll see what's going on with that. But we want from the MLB, let's get into your sports, because we know you love a good old hockey game.
Oh, man. Okay, so here's NHL, and I am so glad I didn't put money on the Nuggets, or on the Knights, because, oh my gosh, I did not expect them to lose to the Stars 4-1. They were my pick to go and win Stanley Cup. So now, it's whoever wins tonight's game, that's going to be, was that 8 o'clock tonight? It's Tampa versus the Islanders.
Yep, Tampa versus the Islanders. Tampa's up 3-2.
Gonna be pulling for Tampa because I'm from New York. I don't really like the New York City teams. So, anytime if you're from New York and you're not from New York City, you spend the majority of your life explaining that there's a state above the city. So we have a little bit of bitterness toward those teams there. It's mostly reserved for the Rangers, I'm going to be honest, but the Islanders I'm not a big fan of either. So we'll see what happens. But here's my real problem. The Stars. Oh my gosh. I have not been a fan of the Dallas Stars since 1999 when they stole the Stanley Cup from my Sabres. Yes, stole it. I'm going to totally stand by that one. But here they come, and they win this series 4-1 against the Golden Nuggets. So you gotta
keep calling them the Golden Nuggets, man. It's the Knights.
It's not that I know. Like, that's because I'm also looking at the NBA stuff.
I know. I was like, I know you're getting this.
I'm like the Nuggets are playing tonight. Like,
yeah, the Nuggets are playing.
Denver Nuggets, and it's the Golden Knights, and I'm gonna mix them up, and that's okay. I'm gonna own it. So, yeah, but like seriously, I cannot believe that the Stars pulled that out. But I'm gonna hand it to them. They did play well. But that's the only thing I'm going to say about it because I'm still a little better 21 years later. Uh, so.
Yeah. Well, see, I hate Dallas too, but that's because I'm a Red Wings fan. So they've always been a heated rivalry, and it's always been that ability. And I think I appreciate you, Daryl, because you've gotten me back into my love of hockey. It's been fun to watch. I like the highlights. I'm excited about tonight's game. I think Tampa can pull it out in this one. I really hope they have the ability to do it, because I think if they go to a game 7 with Dallas having these days to rest, it might throw off that Stanley Cup final. Because since this has been a condensed schedule and they're going, these rest days are doing pretty well for those players. It's not one of those things where we talked about in the future of, oh, is it too long? Should they get, playing now, or, when's the next game? So I'll be interested to see. It took 2 overtimes for the Islanders to get that win. So it'll be good to see what's going up next. So who do you got tonight? You said you have the Lightning tonight?
I'm definitely taking the Lightning.
What's your score prediction?
Okay, just off the top of my head, I'm going to go 3-2. We're going to go ahead and match it up to the series. 3-2 Lightning tonight. So they advance.
All right, I like that. Well, we'll see what goes on tonight. Again, it's 8:00 on NBC SN. If you don't have that channel, it's on Hulu probably. It's on something. They be getting it out there. You'll be able to find it. From the NHL to the NBA, the conference finals are set. Eastern Conference, Western Conference are all set. Western Conference just finished up, or it just got announced this week, with the LA Clippers having a enormous letdown.
Talk to me about that, because I wasn't following the Clippers. I was following the Celtics on the other side.
So, long story short, the Clippers have 2 stars, in which it is Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard, former MVP of the finals, great player. They were up 3-1. This looked like a series that should be done. However, from listening to podcasts and news, it just seemed like the Clippers just weren't bubble ready. This has been a while since people have seen their full families and gotten to do that. And some of these teams have thrived on this bubble, and then others have just faltered. The Heat being one of the teams that did it the best, but the Clippers were always kind of that also Milwaukee side of like, are they really trying? Are they done? Are they out of it? Because Kawhi Leonard his biggest critique is he's not a locker room leader. He's not a court leader. He leads by example, but he's not really rallying the troops and getting them ready. So with the Nuggets, they have 2 pretty decent players, and they have a good decent team, but they were able to fight back, and at the end of the game, you just saw this team go like, all right, we're done. And so it'll be interesting to see Denver versus LA Lakers, since there are 2 teams in LA, and with giving the Lakers enough time to breathe, relax. LeBron's getting up there in age. He was in the league before a lot of the players in the league were even born. But we'll see what's going on with these finals. Games should be starting there is a game tonight. The Eastern Conference has been set. It's Boston Celtics versus Miami Heat at 7:00. Miami's up 1-0, which when Miami came in, like, they weren't viewed as the team that's supposed to come in, run through, and kill it. Well, they have Jimmy Butler.
Really saw them coming.
Yeah, they have Jimmy Butler, and he's really great. They got Hero. They got, these players who have the ability. They're just having a lot more fun. And you can see their on-court chemistry is so great. It rivals the LA Lakers. And that's where you can see, like, the 2 teams that look like they're having the most fun are the 2 teams doing the best. And especially in this bubble situation, which you don't get that stress relief. Your temperature checks every day. You're isolated at lunch. You're just get on the bus, go to the game. There's no, they have to shower in their hotels. They don't practice as much. Like it's a completely different game, but I'm excited to see what goes on with them. I think it gives us an opportunity for this, and that just Clippers claps. It's to where they just didn't care, and they were just like, all right, cool. Because Patrick Beverley's the biggest mouth in the game, and he's the one, Damian Lillard has some of the best Instagram and tweets out there that's pretty much like, well, guess I gotta make my reservation for my vacation a little bit larger. Hey, you coming, Patrick? And just burning them, and that's what's pretty exciting. Maybe just the trash talk got a little too much, and we'll see exactly what goes on. But this will be an interesting conference final, because if the Heat are able to win tonight, which I don't think they will, I think Boston has the ability to pull back. They're going to play hard, but I do see the Heat winning 4-2. I'm interested to see what this Denver team can do. They've shown the ability. They played a Utah team in the earlier round that was just depleted. Like they were done. They went to Game 7. They were tired, and that's why they could just roll over them pretty easily. But with LA, they got players who can compete and push out their big man and give more of a competition to them. LA's number one, so we got to treat them like they're number one. But Denver is coming in hot, and we'll see exactly what they do. But that's my take on it. I don't know. Do you guys think anything, Clarabelle? Have you seen any game? Tiff, I know you watch boxing. They haven't been hitting each other since the Malice and the Palace. So we'll see what's going on with the NBA. But it's pretty fun on that side of it. You want to talk about soccer, Daryl?
I don't think soccer should be a part of this show.
Don't you dare! As Barney Stinson once said,
I was kidding. I love soccer.
Over.
Just messing with people.
No, so as Clarabelle said, she goes, "What?" That's exactly like. Don't you dare try and take out the soccer. As we talked about the Premier League is back. It's been exciting. Liverpool had a fantastic first game against Leeds. It was a 4-3 victory, but Leeds showed they have an ability. Yes, it's the first game of the season. It's a long season. You play every team twice, but we'll see how this season goes. I told you last week that Leeds was one of my teams I was looking at. My teams are Leeds, Fulham, and Man United for this year. It's because Leeds has the most opportunity out of the teams that got promoted. Fulham is my brother-in-law's team, and they're just going to stay exactly where they're going to stay, and that's the bottom four. I don't see them getting out of the top 5 at all, in which they lost 3-0 against Arsenal, which they are a big 6 when it comes to the Premier League, but it's exciting. Games are coming back. There's more games coming this weekend. I'm excited for the Chelsea-Liverpool game that's coming up. I think that has a great potential to see how good is Chelsea or how is Liverpool dealing from their first Premier League championship in forever. And it'll be cool to see what's going on. We take these 3 minutes to talk about what is Manchester United doing in sports. If you don't know who Manchester United is, they are the New York Yankees of the Premier League. Historically good, get better, get worse, get better, get worse. But you can't just trade throughout the year in the Premier League. There are calendar scheduled events. Like there's a window. And so all I've been seeing is nonstop. This team gets this player but not Man United. This team beats out Man United to get this player, and it's where they have the money, they have the ability, but they're just they're not coming in strong. And I think it's this Jordan Sanchez, in which they're trying to get him out of Borussia Dortmund, who's in the Bundesliga, which is the German league, and they just it's like they're waiting. Like they either have a great surprise or they are just going to mess up this transfer window and eventually have to get rid of Paul Pogba, because Paul is their best player, and he's wanted to leave before, but if you're not building a team around him, he's going to get more and more frustrated. So we'll see what they can do. But yeah, it's been a frustrating window for Man United, especially their fans. I read, their fans are again arguing and saying, why aren't we doing this? Why should we do this? Oh, I know, Oak's got this. Ole Gunnar's got this. We can do this. They're not doing horrible. Like when it comes to the league, they just started. They didn't play their first game. They had a friendly, so we'll see what goes on. They'll have their first game this weekend. They should have their first game this weekend. So I'll be excited to see that. Going from the best league to the one that's starting to grow still is the MLS. Major League Soccer announced one of the top Juventus players that was coming kind of down towards his down years as a player, but is still pretty good, is signing for Miami. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I believe it's Italian, and I'm not up to date on my Italian yet. I also may not be right with it being Italian, but it does have a lot of vowels in it, so I'm not quite sure how to say that, which is a fun preview into Name That City that we'll be playing after. So I think I picked a good one today, but the MLS season is continuing to go. As you may or may not have known, they had released a preliminary schedule from the MLS's back tournament. That tournament was just like a preseason tournament. Get them excited, get the game going, move forward. And then they came out with the schedule, and they're releasing it little by little. They've released the next 3 games, which will be this Saturday, next Wednesday, and then next Saturday. So we'll see what goes on with the MLS, but it'll be good to see. Atlanta United is not doing great, but there's still hope. I'm not going out there saying selling my jerseys or getting rid of my season tickets. I got this. Like we'll stand by them. It'll be perfectly fine. With teams looking to get our top players, we show them the talent, and we're bringing in really good talent. We should be bringing in a couple international players out of Argentina that have come from the same teams as Miguel Almiron, and upcoming goalkeeper who's played on the national team, which gives everyone an opportunity to say Lionel Messi because they have a photo together. So it's like this player who once played with Messi is potentially joining this team. But he's the 18-year-old goalkeeper who will play with Atlanta United 2. At this moment, I think it's a development option to buy in 3 years with Guzan at his age. Defense hasn't been great, but Brad's not making the stops that he used to make, and I think backing up those defenders, it's starting to take a toll on him. So I see this being a potential of him getting rotated out. They giving Khan an opportunity to be able to start, but that's not always the case either. Alec Khan, he's a perennial backup. Like he's the Matt Schaub of MLS goalkeepers. He can start if you need him, but if he is starting, that means something's happening. Still great player, great team. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes, but let's get into the other football, football Americano. Daryl, you're wearing your jersey. It looks amazing. Go Bills. I think you have a reason to be excited, but can you tell me why?
All right, check it out. My Buffalo Bills are doing really well. Now, here's how this works. Almost every single year, is we'll come out of the gate super hard, and we'll win the first couple of games. And with the exception of if we played the Patriots, because I'll be honest, while Tom Brady was there, we struggled with that. I'm really looking forward to Josh Allen versus Cam Newton, though. I think it's going to be a good matchup. But here's the deal. We played the Jets on Sunday, and the Jets did have a couple of good plays, but we won 27-17. And for a brief second, we were first in the AFC East. Somehow the Patriots are ranked above us because they also won their opener against the Dolphins. So we're both 1-0. I guess they just have more yards or more, whatever.
Yeah, I think it's their
Josh Allen did have 2 fumbles that may have contributed. But my guys look good this year. They don't look like they're exploding too far too fast. It's a different team. This is a team that Sean McDermott's in his 3rd or 4th year now, coming out and coaching, which officially makes him the longest coach we've had in the last 20 years. And not only that, but Brandon Beans, our GM, he's been there the same amount of time, and these two work really, really well together. It's starting to feel a little bit like the Marv Levy years back in the 90s. Part of what helped was Marv Levy coming out and saying that. So that was pretty cool. He's 95. He was on the radio in Buffalo. My dad sent me the YouTube thing. He's like, Marv Levy was on the radio. It was great. Unfortunately, my dad couldn't be with us today because he doesn't understand technology enough for me to get him on here. So we'll work on that. My brother's good with it. I'll have him set him up. So, but yeah, I'm really excited by what the Bills are doing. Stephon Diggs is looking great. We've got a great offense. Perennially, even in years when we don't do well offensively or by our record, our defense is ranked among the top 5 every year. And they're looking solid this year too. So yeah, I'm excited, and I believe. But yeah, I think for me the weirdest thing though was watching this game and hearing the sound of the crowd, but then they'd show the shots of the stadium, and there's like maybe 5 people there, and it's the camera guys, and just that was just so weird to me. It just doesn't feel like Buffalo, even in losing years, that those stadiums are packed. And the Bills Mafia, the 12th man, our fan base is one of the rowdiest, craziest in the NFL, and it was weird just not having them there for the game. But like I said, we'll see how it goes by the end of the season. Hopefully we're up on top and we do well in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, and it's been like that was first week is in the books. It was a very interesting first week. I went and watched a few games here and there, use that NFL pass a little bit and see, what they got, what's going on. As we had talked earlier, Tampa Bay is 0-1, but don't fret. Tom always comes out slow. So we'll get over that. Let's talk about something else. No, but it was one of those things where it is a new team, it is a new system, it is a new coach, and so it'll be interesting to see what's going on. I think for me and what that did show is Tom's gonna be Tom. Don't worry about it. Now when they start a little bit later, if it's like 0-4, we'll be good. I know Clarabelle's excited that Cam Newton won with New England Patriots.
Let's talk about Cam Newton for a second, because I think something's got to be said here.
Yeah.
Cam Newton is a great quarterback, okay? And everybody's comparing him to Tom Brady, and everybody's saying, oh, well, he's not going to do as well as Tom. Cam came out and had a great day the other day. And yeah, he's playing against the Dolphins. which are not a strong team yet, this year. Perennially the Dolphins and the Jets not so great. So yeah, you could say that the Bills and the Patriots had an easy week 1. But if you look at that Patriots schedule, Cam is up against some heavy hitters, and it's going to be fun to watch him. I think he's getting way too much flack for who he is and what he's able to do. And when Bill Belichick comes out and says, "No, he's my guy," like that's big to me. And I feel like Cam needs to get a little more props. He's a good quarterback.
Well, what we're going to see here is their next game is against Seattle. So we'll see them against a good team with a good offense. There's no Fitz magic on this team, but, Russell is pretty decent at this game as well. So all Cam really has to do is go 9-7 and not get hurt this year. That's it. All he has to do to have
off, they'll make the playoffs.
Because his biggest flack is that he's been injured, and he's not a leader, or he doesn't really understand the game as well. So it'll be good to go.
He's not playing the Bills until later in the season. They got, I think it's 2 games in 3 weeks.
Yeah, that'll be the interesting part.
But again, if he gets hurt, what are they going to do? So but I think Cam has a great team around him. I think the Pats are still going to be fun to watch if you're a Patriots fan. I think they're going to be more fun to watch now that Tom Brady's not there. I feel like the rest of the AFC East is kind of breathing a little bit more, where we're like, maybe we got a shot and we can at least be competitive. The problem with Brady and Gronk in there was just, you knew it was going to be a blowout every time, and the fact that, my Bills were actually able to play with them last year and we're up to a decent caliber. I think the games were decided within a touchdown each time. So they were close.
They were pretty good on that.
Yeah, those were exciting. That was exciting to us. So the idea that there's going to be more competitiveness in the AFC East, that's going to be cool.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be good.
I did just put up a picture in the chat line for you though, so if you want to check it out.
Good. Can't wait to see it. One thing, again, I'm from the great state of Michigan. Our Detroit Lions did not disappoint. They were leading by multiple points, and then they lost.
They were up by a lot after
glorious fashion. They were up by so many points. It's not fun to say. When they were winning, I did say if the Lions do go 4-0 or 3-0 to start the season, I will finally buy a Lions jersey. My buddy says you're probably not going to have to worry about that, and they were right. Losing 27-3 against Mitch Trubisky. Like, I get he had 3 touchdowns, but you gotta be kidding me. The exciting part about that game, however, was watching Danny Amendola and Adrian Peterson be the leading yard getters for running and passing, because now we're turning into the team of, having these stars that we draft, because we always draft top 5, to now we're getting like the old guys, and we're bringing the game back together, because Adrian Peterson ran for 93 yards, like 14 carries, 93 yards. He looked like he was young again. He has something to prove. But we have a game tonight going on. I like to dub it the Who Cares Bowl. And that is Cincinnati versus Cleveland, because who cares? Like, Cleveland is who Cleveland is. That's my favorite part about social media, is that while we have so much to disagree on, we can all agree that Cleveland is horrible, and the whole state of Ohio is. Okay, maybe not everyone agrees on that part of it, but the Who Cares Bowl, Cincinnati versus Cleveland tonight. Cleveland is a meme in the making. This is what they were built for. 3rd down and 41 yards to go. I'm waiting to start hearing people say, maybe they should start looking for a quarterback, next year. Maybe they should start looking, because you got OBJ, man. Like, if you got OBJ, you've got, you got a running back that has the ability. You have a decent team. Baker Mayfield needs to do something. This is that same thing where you can see that he's been quieter, but that's because I think he knows this isn't good. Like, he doesn't want to be in the news. He doesn't want to be chatting. He doesn't want to be chirping like he was doing before, because that just brings more attention to how bad they are doing as a team. Because they lost their last game, and it was just like, okay, that's not, that wasn't worth it. But my favorite thing that did come out of this NFL weekend, while the Cowboys did lose, Zeke Elliott does have a tattoo on his belly now that says "Feed Me," and I think that is a very interesting choice. I enjoy it. He's always been known to show off his abs, but this is the exciting part. Who would have known he just got a secret tattoo during quarantine? It's if you're gonna go by a slogan, go by Marshawn Lynch had Skittles. Now Zeke has always been the feed me, which was started by Denard Robinson first. That was I'm just saying, like, that was a Michigan thing, but.
Hey Spencer, did you know that week 1 was very historic?
Oh yeah, well,
for NFL. Do you know why?
Why?
They had the most black starting QBs ever in NFL history at 10. Okay, so we have Cam Newton in the Patriots, Patrick Mahomes in the Chiefs, Lamar Jackson of the Ravens, Russell Wilson in the Seahawks, Teddy Bridgewater in the Panthers, Dak Prescott for the Cowboys, Tyrod Taylor for the Chargers, Deshaun Watson for the Texans, Dwayne Haskins for Washington, and Kyler Murray for the Cardinals. I think that's awesome because traditionally, in the last 40, 50, 60 years of the NFL, quarterbacks have been white. We're starting to see that to change, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the athleticism there, the ability, the change that the NFL is making, is towards the good, and I think people need to be able to see this. Like, Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback, and everyone's talking about what he's going to be next. Lamar Jackson is a great quarterback, and these are the avenues that used to be 1 or 2 or 3 was the top, but for there to be 10, this shows that the NFL has been changing how they scout, how they view, and how they see these players in college and what they're able to do. Because these guys are young, like they're not the 10 years in and now they're starting. Like Tyrod Taylor is the oldest out of the group,
but the Bills.
But he was starting. Like, he's been starting for a while.
He played for the Bills for 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah, and so that's
done. And honestly, he wasn't a good fit for the Bills.
No one was a good fit for the Bills.
But see, that was the thing. The Bills weren't a good fit for him either.
Yeah.
Like. And this is pre Sean McDermott.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've gone through a couple of coaches since Tyrod played for us, but we always
went through a couple of coaches when Tyrod was there.
Kind of felt like Tyrod just, for whatever reason, his skill set was a little bit different from what the Bills needed.
Yeah.
And when he moved on, and then his career started blowing up. Yeah. And a lot of us, like, Tyrod did a lot of good for Buffalo when he was there. So we've been cheering him on ever since.
Yeah, and that's what's good. That's great to see the history. I think we're starting to wind down from this show. Since the NFL did come back, I knew it was going to be a little bit longer today. But we'll finish up with talking about college sports. Long story short, Big Ten has agreed to begin playing football in October. Their first games are going to start on October 24th. It's going to be an 8-game, 8-week season, and then they'll go into the playoff. They'll have a conference championship. If you look at the information, the Big Ten's just come out with stricter guidelines. I think they were taking this time. They wanted to see what was going on because the ACC's been having a hard time with their players in COVID. And that's something in which the Big Ten has always been the slow down, let's see what's up. Phil Baum or whatever on ESPN wants to give all the credit to Ohio State. But if you ever watch ESPN, he's been giving Ohio State credit for everything, like sliced
Yeah.
bread, the invention of the wheel. That man, I can't with him so
Yeah,
much.
that happens a lot.
But it's like, you mean that they complained the most? Like you had, oh, I want to play, or oh, you guys aren't talking to us really well. I was like, no, they were just loud. You don't know what kind of power.
It's a little like when you used to watch John Madden and he talked about Brett Favre.
Yeah, Brett Favre. Brett Favre's been out of the league for 3 years. Yeah, but this guy reminds me of Brett Favre. Like, he's a great guy. Everything about him, he's going to do this. We have a game here against...
full show just on Madden.
Pretty much exactly how it is. But with college sports, again, they did just announce that college basketball is coming back. That will start in November. They're looking at a potential bubble situation for the NCAA tournament, which will be interesting. I wonder if they're going to keep the same field or if they're going to shrink it, which may mess up everything because the NCAA tournament has been all about Cinderellas, and those Cinderellas come from these smaller conference champions, who don't get the opportunity. They get their automatic bid, and then they go on to show like, hey, we're good at football. So
we'll see how that goes.
Keep getting more information about that, but that is our show. Daryl, do you have any final points before we play Name That City?
No,
I got my city ready.
I got mine ready.
All right, good. So what is it? Is this week you or is this week me going first?
I don't remember. So why don't you go? Want me to go first? Okay, Here you go. Ready?
Oh, I sent you mine too. I hit the wrong button. All right.
You want to try that one first?
Yeah, let me try yours. It's popping up on my screen. There we go. Canandaigua?
No, it's Canandaigua.
I knew it. I knew it was day. I just was like,
this.
All right, whatever.
This was also truncated down to Canandaigua.
Oh yeah.
We were little because we couldn't say Daigua.
Daigua.
Canandaigua. All right, so I think I know what it is. I'm wondering if I'm gonna get tricked here, but Onondaga.
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 When I went to Oswego, we actually had a building that was named this exact thing. It was Onondaga.
Yeah.
So
it really is.
I'm like, there's no way it can't be the same.
You know what? Really, depending on who you talk to, it is pretty much Onondaga. I don't go to that.
Oh yeah.
That area. It's near the capital in Lansing, and so it's I don't know. It's a nice little city in which they're at. But
this word right here is where I went to school, and if you lived there, you pronounced it different from how the students pronounced it. Students said Oswego. If you lived there, it was Oswego.
Oswego? You called it Oswego?
Yeah.
See, we have an Oswego.
If you lived there, it was Oswego.
Yeah, we have an Oswego in Michigan.
I was gonna say you have a bunch up there too. So.
Yeah, but we call it Oswego.
We gotta start keeping score. I don't even remember what the score is. I think we're tied. I think we're tied at 0-0.
Good thing we're recording this. Our producer Clarabelle should be keeping stats if she's keeping it going. But we'll I'm waiting for her comment in the chat line. But it was a great week. I hope you guys are having a good one. Enjoy your weekends. Enjoy your Fridays. And we look forward to seeing you guys in the future. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Spencer.
I was trying a new thing. We've been trying to
that, reverse it.
Yeah, strike it, reverse that. Like I think that'd be. I was gonna start doing that one. I might get people confused.
We will see you guys next week for Monday Matinee.
Yep, see you. I'm excited. What movie are we watching again?
The Martian.
Oh yeah.
So that'll be good.
I'm excited about that one.
All right, see you guys.
See ya. Bye, Daryl.